Hello, my name is Sherman Duquette, and this is my final project. The title that I've chosen for this project is called Gangs of New York, The Birth of Independent Filmmaking. It's loosely based on the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio released not too long ago. Thomas Edison made a illegal trust to create a monopoly on the goods used to actually make movies. He didn't do it on his own, he actually enlisted the help of George Eastman. Eastman is the owner of Kodak. The monopoly that they decided that they were going to use was to control the products that people could use concerning filmmaking, like cameras, controlling the film stock that they were also able to use. But a lot of people were actually going to companies in Germany and things like that that made cameras and using their materials. Thomas Edison didn't like this, so he enlisted goons or enforcers to go and seek out these places where these people were actually making movies. They would beat up people, they would destroy cameras, they would destroy the film that they were using, and they sometimes, in severe cases, would actually threaten the women with rape. D.W. Griffith made the decision that they could not just merely move down to Florida because a simple train ride would actually have the goons there just as fast as they left. So he decided that he was going to go to Hollywood in California. And he was actually the first person to actually produce a movie in Hollywood. Pinkford was actually very historical because she became one of the first women to actually co-own a studio in Hollywood. And she did that with Charlie Chaplin as well, and her husband. But later on, what they did in Hollywood was establish a studio system, which basically ended up being the same type of controlling atmosphere that Thomas Edison had tried to do in New York, but they just didn't use force like that. They would control you through a legally binding contract. You did what it was that they asked you to do. If you didn't, and if you didn't produce the results, they put you on the back burner. I recently had a conversation with a past instructor who let me know how naive I was, because even though you're an independent filmmaker, you're still dependent upon basically the financial backings of studios. You're still dependent on the distribution companies. And it really caused me to think about the fact that, you know, the film trust, even though it was considered illegal and the studio system was really thrown out the window because it really wasn't producing much, what happened was is that they just decided to continue doing this under the radar. And while they were doing it under the radar, you have George Lucas, who recently just did the Red Tails movie. But according to an article I read, he spent 23 years trying to get them to finance and to help him back this. They decided that they wouldn't do it because they said that it was a lot of black actors in this movie, and all black cast would not do well overseas. And that's where they get 60% of their profit from, is through foreign film, through foreign distribution and things like that. But he spent 120 million of his own money to produce this movie. He had to basically go through his own type of distribution just to get the movie out there. And it still just shows that it's still hard to be an independent filmmaker in the face of giants like Universal, in the face of giants like MGM. Thank you for your time. Rest easy.